Our heritage is bound up with Brixton. It is simultaneously the places we inhabit and the memories that are stored there. Over 8 episodes, you will walk with us through the built environment of Brixton Town Centre, from Bon Marsh department store to Morley's chicken shop. By combining our historical research of these buildings with our own personal histories, we grant you secret access to the real histories of Brixton. These are our buildings, this is our Brixton, and we are the heritage of tomorrow.
Brixton Memories, 8 walks, 1 area. McDonald's, the place where you link up with friends.
Then go to Brixton Market.
A lot of people socialising.
People chatting, people shopping,
People eating.
People selling.
People having fun.
People enjoying themselves.
Then we move on to creams.
Smell the sweet sensation of the desserts.
Taste the tantalising treats given.
Feel the fantastic feeling of the fabulous food.
Witness the mouth-watering waffles.
Conclude it all with the calming crunch of the crepes, which signify the casual, cool, yet captivating image of creams.
In the Ritzy, you can feel the fiery feeling of the film about to start.
See the significance of the silence during the movie.
Consumed by the comfiness of the chairs in the cinema.
Witness whispers of restlessness as everything is about to start.
Endure the adrenaline before everything begins.
And realise the rapid yet remarkable plot twist in the middle of the movie.
Now we transition to the Bon Marché department store, founded by brave bidder James Smith in 1876.
Who never got a chance to look at the lottery slide? Soon won a double at Newmarket and left there with happiness and pride.
The money he won from the horses was the most amazing thing he ever saw. This then led to the creation of the Bon Marsh department store.
The architecture and style was the latest in its time. They showed all kinds of things like the couches in line.
Soon this place changed to even better than a store. It later turned into a workspace, retail and even more.
Then we move on to Brockwell Park, where you can feel the buzz of the bikes in the BMX track.
See the open space of the area. Feel the brush of blistering breeze throughout the park.
Playing around with the apparatus of the park.
This entire poem is about what you can see.
But to us, this explains and shows
What Brixton can be.
9s and GCSEs, here we come.
Hi, my name is Makola. I'm 15 years old and today I'm going to share with you some of my thoughts about the importance of family history in shaping our lives today. Brixton history is something that is shared among us. It is home to many different people of many ages, ethnicities and backgrounds. Although Brixton is open to all, it is known for its home to people of Caribbean backgrounds, allowing them to express themselves through food stores and musical entertainment. Brixton Market is always full of people. It's never empty. It's one of those places where if you saw it was empty, you would think there was something wrong. There is always the constant chatter of people in the background, whether that's people talking to shop owners, people talking on the phone, people talking with their family, or the steel pans playing in the background, or some people preaching on the speakers, trying to get people's attention. You kind of get like a salty seasoning smell that goes with all of the food that's on display, and it sets the mood. It changes the setting from maybe a place where it would have been calm to a place that's just vibrant with different flavors and different influences. For me, the Black Cultural Archive Centre is where my journey began, my journey on discovering my family history. Built in 1981, the Black Cultural Archives was designed to celebrate the history and diversity that those of the Windrush and other generations brought to Brixton. Starting with those of African descent, the centre was used to preserve and display the diversity that this new wave of people had brought to Britain, which we still see throughout Brixton. My experience at the Black Cultural Archives was important to me, as like a lot of exhibitions, it brought my family history to life through illustration. Understanding family history and background is something that has become extremely important to me, as it forms the basis of individuality. Being able to understand your family is a large part of being able to understand who you are and what you are destined to be. So, I decided to sit down with my mum to discuss the importance of Brixton history to her.
My grandfather, your great-grandfather, was a part of the Windrush generation, and he told me over the years how hard it was for black people in those days. And while some of them are not here with us now, they have left their mark with street names, market stalls, and most importantly now, the Black Archives.
How efficient do you think Brixton is in allowing people to feel comfortable with their culture and heritage?
In my years of growing up in Brixton, it has always been based around culture diversity, which brings a feeling of comfort. It does, yeah, comfort. It's amazing to be able to experience people from other countries all over the world living as one and experiencing each other's cultures at the same time. Unity.
Growing up in Brixton has had a large influence on me and the way that I live my life. Living in and around Brixton, with all of its wonderful exhibitions and memorials, allows at least the smallest insight into where I, as well as the majority of Brixton's population, have grown from. It is extremely important that as a community, we recognise a sense of shared history in the sense of our families, the lives that they were made to live, and the way that we live as one today. In terms of a shared background, Brixton is great in allowing people of such diverse backgrounds to express themselves, whether that is their past or their future. Through exhibitions like those in the Black Cultural Archive Centre, Brixton allows everyone to explore the path that they may choose, discovery of the past, working in the present, and building the future.
My name is Raquel, I'm 15 years old and my star sign is a Scorpio. For years, Brixton has been one of London's best kept secrets, a bohemian neighbourhood absolutely bursting with art, music, culture and fabulous food. Brixton has had a huge cultural and artistic impact on the world, as this is where David Bowie, Adele, Danny Kirwan of Fleetwood Mac and 2 members of The Clash called this part of London home. Music plays a very important role in Brixton's history. It brings people together and helps forget our surroundings and daily battles in life. It blows my mind how impactful one place can be, full of culture, music, and most importantly, love and togetherness. It's Brixton, it's our place. The O2 Academy is a remarkable venue in London. The Brixton Academy has been used by many very successful acts. The excitement you get when you first buy the tickets. This is the part of the phase where it hasn't hit you just yet because you're too busy feeling relieved that you were quick enough to get the tickets. If you're like me, you take hours deciding what you wear and how you'll do your hair. It's sort of an unspoken rule to dress nicely for a concert. I remember the anticipation and excitement of walking up the line. Then you finally get your ticket scanned and walk in. It's unreal. When I first walked into the Brixton Academy, I was amazed, absolutely astonished. It's amazing seeing how many people are here for the same reason. We all have something in common, and that is the concert we'll never forget. The house lights go down, and everyone's heart is racing. We all have goosebumps. Everyone's screaming and the concert is about to start. Most of the time, there's an intro video to get the crowd more excited, and this is something you'll never forget. The intro builds up your excitement and it makes you want to scream louder. You never thought you'd be louder than you already were, but once the artist pops out on stage, your voice will hit its all-time high. I can't describe the feeling because once you're there, you're just so in the moment, and the amount of joy you feel during it does not seem to compare to anything else that makes you happy. Hearing your favorite songs live makes you forget all your problems, only living in the moment, looking at the artist or band and thinking how grateful you are for music.
I am Claudia Wilson. I've been running Pure Vinyl Record Shop in Brixton for the past 3 years and running a store as well in Brixton for a few years before that. I have lived in Brixton all my life, so I have actually been to the Academy quite a few times. I used to go there quite a lot when I was younger. We used to go and see lots of old hip-hop acts and soul and reggae, and you know what, I actually remember it when it was a cinema. It was very, very, very long time ago when I was a kid. Distributing local music has always been really important because in Brixton there has always been a tradition of music. Since I can remember, since I was very little, I remember going to places with my parents even to watch live music, and it's always been a tradition here in Brixton amongst the black community in Brixton, where we've always played and developed and shown and been able to play our music. So yeah, it was important to be here, right here in Brixton, and I hope we continue to do so.
At that moment, you're so in love with life and you don't care who knows it. And when you're in that moment, you usually neither realize nor care about what you look like when dancing or sound like when singing. You're just focusing solely on how happy you are. The power of music is what people turn to when looking for hope and inspiration. It brings joy, love, and celebration. And that, to me, is what makes it special.
Hi everyone, I'm Ramla and I'm 15. I grew up around different areas in South London, with Brixton being one, as I go to school here. I feel like literally anything can happen between two institutions that could bring them together, and I feel like with our school and obviously Brixton Rec, it happened to be sport. I know there are still some people that go there in their own time, but I know for a fact they just remember how they used to go there every week for PE, and then remember the 2 sports days of the year that everybody used to get so riled up about, and it just, everything comes flooding back. My Brixton Rec story, year 7 and 8. It's here. It's finally here. Sports day. The feeling of suspense and excitement that has been brought up today is unbearable. When I reach school, I see that everyone is in their PE kits, as well as showing off their house colours, red, blue, green and purple. I was wearing blue, which happened to be the same colour of my actual PE kit, luckily. Everyone was setting up with their packed lunches and their teams, and we set off. The competitive mood was set out before we had even got there. Every student was shouting their chants through the streets, holding up their banners and attracting the public wherever we go and from all directions. Someone else who remembers those days as much as I do is my friend Dali.
Yeah, there was definitely that sense of excitement even before we got to Brixton Rec. Like everyone talking together and asking which sports they would take part in. But there was definitely also a sense of fear because we didn't know who would win it could all be decided by one sport.
Finally, after all of that shouting, we arrive at the centre and go straight to the sports hall and find our seats. Then once everything has been settled down, the teacher says, let the games begin. And everyone becomes riled up again. People begin to compete for their houses. Their teammates are cheering them on. Teachers watching the children compete with their eyes bulging at the seams. Just thinking of all of this, saying all of this, brings the memories flooding back. If only it was so easy and enjoyable as it was then now.
I remember our team losing that first sports day and feeling absolutely gutted, and then walking back to school from Brixton Rec and nobody talking because we were all so upset.
That was like one of the worst feelings when we lost, but obviously that does move on to the year after when we became first. That was like amazing. So what do you feel about that?
That was definitely a massive moment in our school's history. I just remember lining up, and then as the teachers read out the scores, I remember us cheering so loudly, and then obviously they were so annoyed that we had beaten them out of nowhere.
The amazing feeling of just being able to prove everyone wrong, because the way they looked down on us, and we were just like, we beat all of you. Like, it was amazing.
As you can see, my history has changed a lot, even though it's only been a couple of years. However, it's not just been a change for me, but it's been changed for Brixton and just how it links with me too. So I have mentioned before how I wish I could have gone back to a better time, but my message to all of you is to just appreciate it and always try and bring a better part of your childhood into your future.
Have you learnt anything about the history of Brixton in school?
I did learn this one song, and it goes, we're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. We're gonna rock down to...
Hi, my name is Olivia, I'm 15 years old, and this is my podcast, Ice Brixton. What was once the ice rink is now Pop Brixton. I used to stride across the icy floor, but the memories I now have stand beyond a closed door. What was once disused land is now Pop Brixton. Create a space for local independent businesses in the community, giving people, entrepreneurs, an opportunity. The opportunity to have a good business in South London, Brixton. It was built using recycled shipping containers and unclaimed materials to create space in cities. In Pop Brixton, things can range from food and drinks to events to energy that never descends. The atmosphere is youthful and busy. To outside Iceland. Walking by the still pans as I feel the adrenaline pump through my veins and hearing the difference of soca and pop in my brains. Hearing the culture linger, giving me a sense of self-being, as I watch the rubber-tipped sticks hit the grooves. Dancing to outside the Reliance Arcade, where you smell the toothsome popcorn crackling, trying to resist its captivating smell, which you don't end up tackling. What do you like to do in Brixton?
I like to go shopping with my family.
So I wanted to interview my younger brother because I think it's interesting to see his perspective. Where do you like to go shopping?
Sometimes maybe Brixton Market.
What do you like to get in Brixton Market?
Well, my favourite thing and my favourite food to get in Brixton Market is patties.
Hello, my name's John Gordon. I've been a market trader in Brixton Market for about 40 years. To say that I belong to the area just means I feel a part of it, that it's a part of me, it's part of what I am, who I am, and part of my history. Brixton community has been definitely shaped by the past, by the fact that there were fields here and people used to grow produce to sell in the City of London, so it became a place where there was a market for people to buy. So naturally a market developed, and so that when people built houses around Brixton, the market was central to Brixton. And then when the Caribbean people came in, the Portuguese and the Italian people came in, there was a ready-made market for them to buy from, so that people came in to visit the market, met their friends, and so a community developed. It's interesting history, consequences of its heritage, as well as the buildings.
What do you think about the future for Brixton?
I think it'll be quite run down.
Why is that?
Because of all the companies.
If you could save Brixton from being run down in the future, what would you change?
I would change how there is not enough kid things. It will give kids a space to go.
Where roses are red, violets are blue, plantain is sweet, and rum cake is too. Yellow, green, black, yellow, black, blue, white, where the culture is proud and the people are loud too. With saltfish is salty and the sea is too. The sun shines down upon me and also on you. Where hope is full of people, where people are full of hope, where the people are strong, creative and appreciative. The culture is spicy, full of true flavours, where everyone treats one another like neighbours. In the heart of the island, Mount Piton, where everyone says to another bonjour. We like to eat your chicken, kaffa and ham, sometimes even curry goat, dumplings or lamb. I can't be you, you can't be me. This is my culture is me.
I'm Shane, I'm 14 and I grew up in Brixton. I like the times when me and all my friends would always meet up either after school or on weekends. We would always have a football with us because we all enjoyed the same sport, which was football. We would all go to the pitch and set up our own teams. While playing, we would always cuss each other out and laugh because that's what our friendship group was. We would love to mess around and just put each other off. Most of the times, the games would get heated and we'd start getting mad and barging each other to the ground. But at the end of the day, it was all banter and we were all friends throughout it. We would then go and walk around main Brixton where all the loud Jamaican music clogged our ears from the mass amount of people walking in front, to the side and behind us. We could barely hear ourselves through all of it. The thing I love about my friends is that we all come from different backgrounds. You've got people from Nigeria, Jamaica, Barbados, Spain, all in the same group. We all had different ways of growing up and different ways of living. We all have different cultures and celebrations. And because we're all so different from each other, that's what makes us the same. That is part of why we're all so close. That is why we love each other and wouldn't trade each other for anything. After that, we all loved our next meal of Morley's, getting the casual 2 wings and chips, or if your mum blessed you with enough money, you'll get the 4. The downside of getting 4 wings was that all your friends tried to take them off you, trying to convince you they'll pay you £1 the next day if you gave them wings or gave them money for Morley's that they forgot at home. We would sit down at any available place where you could rest your legs and eat. We would cuss each other out for how we looked that day or how scrappy one of our shirts were for no other reason than to just have a laugh. None of us took it to heart because we all knew we loved each other no matter how much we annoyed or mocked one another. What I'm trying to express here is friendship and the power it has within you and throughout all your life. Friendship makes you want to go on and push for something greater because in the back of your head, you always know you have the whole group supporting you.
Hi, I'm Loretta Yusuf. I'm 22 years old.
This is my older sister, Loretta.
I've just finished studying fashion design at university.
I asked her for her top 3 tips of making a friendship last. Number 1.
To have a common mindset.
Number 2.
to have people who are supportive definitely makes a friendship last, because they encourage you and they don't bring you down. You need to be vulnerable in order to connect on a real emotional level. Brixton's history has definitely opened us up to different cultures and made us be very, very aware of what's happening in music, different foods and different cultures. And that's one of the valuable things about living in an area like Brixton, just the mixing of cultures, whether it's Caribbean, African, Hispanic. It's very, very valuable to all of us.
Friends are the people you laugh with, the people you feel most comfortable around. You can share anything and everything with them, and you always know they won't think of you as any different. I'm not talking about the whole group of people you count as friends because you talk a lot and link after school. I'm talking about the people who would stick with you no matter what state you're going through. They are the people that love you for who you are and have no underlying intentions with you. They are the people you can count on and know they've got you back. Something that money cannot buy, no matter what amount you put on the table. That is what you call friendship.
Hi, are you alright? My name's Zainabu and I'm doing this project based on Brixton heritage and how you have a sense of belonging in places like Brixton.
So when I was a kid, I had a very weird obsession of Curry's PC World. Like my mum would tell me and my face would just brighten up with a big smile.
Curry's PC World is in Brockwell Road, next to Harvard's.
It was just the atmosphere, the warmth. It was like just how big it was, and that was my spot for hide and seek. My mum would be either making a transaction or she'll be talking, and I would just find the best American fridge freezer to come and put myself in. As soon as you close the fridge doors, the sound was just, it was like noise cancellation. It was just so fun just to be in complete quiet for 20 minutes. There was something about the fact that the fridge lights didn't switch off while I was in there. You know, it was a nice experience, and it's something that I will always remember because it was one of my favorite things to do as a kid.
Oh my god, there's so many things I can describe about Brixton Market. The steel pans, the food, like the incense that you get just walking past Iceland, like the noise of people talking, shouting, screaming. It's just really nice. It's just very different from the way I would feel in Curry's, because in Curry's I feel like royalty. I'd feel like I was at the top of the world. But in Brixton I felt like one of them. Like I felt like we was all standing in one line on the same level all together, and that's what makes me feel like I belong in Brixton. So because I have feelings of belonging in Brixton Market, I thought, wouldn't it be interesting to talk to some people who know Brixton Market very well?
Hello, my name's Stuart Horwoods. I had a stall on Pope's Road selling watches, and I was known by the local community as Stuart the Watchman. And from 2003 until the present time, I've been the chair and then the CEO of Brixton Market Traders Federation.
What does the heritage of Brixton Market mean to you?
The heritage of Brixton Market means somewhere for the community. It's not just a place for shopping, it's a place where people hang out, it's a place where people meet people that they haven't seen for a while. Shopping is more than just a transaction in Brixton, and one of the things that Brixton has really thrived on is the migrant communities that have come into the area, mainly beginning with Caribbean people coming over in the 50s, and they brought a sense of market with them. And then that's continued with all the communities that have come into Brixton, from the West Africans, East Africans, Chinese, quite recently the South Americans. And it's because of these communities that the market has been able to survive and thrive during the past 50 years.
What would you say is your best memory in Brixton?
One day in the summer, I think it was 1998, there was a group going around London called Reclaim the Streets, and they blocked off Brixton High Streets, basically from McDonald's up until Atlantic Roads, and held a big street party. And it was just such a Brixton thing at the time. Brixton was so full of different crazy things going on. And I just remember going out onto the high streets during the middle of the day, and there was thousands of people out on the street, and somebody brought some sand down and turned part of the high street into a beach, which was pretty incredible. And it's a memory of Brixton that I don't think will ever leave me.
Strolling down the same path I've strolled on before, unlocking a memory I had experienced before. Hi, I'm Walia and I'm a girl that lives in Brixton. I've lived here for basically all my life. I go to school here, I go out around here, and yeah. From door to door, from road to alley, no two street corners hold the same story. I walk home with my friend after school basically most days, unless I'm in a rush or anything like that. From the Friday afternoon Morley's remedy curing my mouth, from the bittersweet taste of lunch to the soothing walks to the park, chasing my friends in the mud. We usually see a couple people from different schools, and we usually say hi, we talk, we take snaps, just the usual stuff that 14 and 15-year-olds would do. So run into the bus stop to catch the bus. Oh sweet Brixton, I love you so much. We would probably go Morley's first because someone wants to go there and order like 2 wings and chips and drink or something really like huge casual. Or we would go to like the corner shop and get a drink or like sweets or something, and like we would share them and stuff. Any past places like Windrush Square, and because some of my friends are Jamaican and their parents or grandparents have come from the Windrush generation, it kind of like touches like your mind in the morning, like, oh my god, this is where all the people from Windrush came when they first came to this country. And I feel like when you walk past places like that every single day, you just kind of realise the injustice inside the world. And it's just like walking in places where the Brixton riots happened, or where other shops were. It just goes to show like we've come a long way and we're still going a long way.
I'm Alia. I'm also her twin sister. I'm 15 years old and I've lived in South London, Brixton all of my life as well. I just love the vibe. I think Brixton is very unique to itself. You know, we've got like our regular steel pan players. We know that like the guys in the market are always going to try to sell you them food like all the time. Like, you know, you've got your regulars, and I think it's very nice to know that like in your street, in your neighbourhood, you've got people that you know that are just there. I think living in Brixton has shaped me as a person. I'm very, you know, I understand stereotypes now and I know not to believe them. I think people have a very negative perception of people who live around here or just in the area in general, and I've learnt that that's obviously not always the case, so I know not to project that onto other people.
Some of us were sporty and girly, and some of us were sporty and really tomboyish. So I feel like when we go to Brixton after school and we stop off at these places like Superdrug, try on makeup, if we do buy it, it's not like, oh my god, I need to wear it every single day, blah blah blah. It's more of a thing where it's like, oh, I like it, I just want to experiment with it or express how I'm feeling on certain days. So we're all like a big support system. So even if someone does like buy into something that they probably shouldn't, like an idea of how they have to look when it's unrealistic, like we always encourage each other and help each other and tell each other what we need to hear as well as what we want to hear. Oh sweet Brixton, I love you so much. This podcast was created by the young people participating in the Townscape Heritage Initiative, facilitated by the Empathy Museum and Boldface. Produced by the Brixton Project in partnership with Our Heart and the Independent Film Trust, funded by Lambeth Council and the National Heritage Lottery Fund.